when the heat's on, none of them can get through the fire around with me. And I had them niggas feel like a tire, down the deep, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy, it get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends, so we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino. So what you sucker trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since all the dominance of one west rising to prominent. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got group eyes for Uber. Rhymes hard like they've been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by black Impalas, let the semi holler. A showstopper, been the proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm going on my Patron and premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had them niggas feel like a tire, down the deep, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me.
Okay. Let's say off for 50 where y'all we're breaking down this. Sure, it's okay, David, take it back.
So we're gonna I.S.U.P.K on 1 West 123rd Street, Harlem, New York, and conveying during your time. I'm Officer 50 at Warrior, and I'll be opening up for 50 to Rosh Hashanah. Today we're going to be going into the law. Is the law done away with? So first, we'll start off by going to Romans 6:1. If you can get that from me, I'm going to start. All our brothers getting now, we just celebrated the 56th annual Passover. As you see, we're in the cover. All the brothers that went through Hebrew Academy and went through trials. Round of applause to them.
That's right.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then?
What shall we say then? This is Paul talking to the Israelites. The Israelites were asking Paul, since Christ has died, are we still under the law? He said, what shall we say then? Read on.
Shall we continue in sin?
Shall we continue in sin? What is sin? Sin is transgressions of the law. Shall we continue in sin? Shall we continue celebrating our birthdays and these pagan celebrations, celebrating Christmas, celebrating these pagan holidays like July 4th that's coming up? Shall we continue doing those things? Read on.
That grace may abound.
That grace may abound. Should you get grace for doing those things? Should you get grace? So you get grace for celebrating those holidays, for doing those things. Read on.
Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Verse 2. God forbid.
God forbid. Paul said, hell no. He said, hell no. You should not continue in sin. You should not continue to celebrate your holiday, to do sinful things just because you're under grace. Because you'll be we're gonna go into Romans 6 and 15 if you could, brother.
Romans chapter 6, verse 15. What then? Shall we sin? Because we are not under the law, but under grace. God forbid.
Paul saying the same thing here in verse 15, that we should not continue in sin, that we should follow the laws. And what is grace? Since we're under grace, what is grace? Grace is something to get yourself together. Your water has been turned off before, and they give you a grace period to get your money to get it together, to pay that. All grace is to get yourself together, to stop yourself from celebrating those holidays, from stopping yourself from celebrating your birthdays, from eating shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster, and get yourself together to follow these laws. It's just a time period to get yourself together.
Right.
That's all that grace is. If you can, brother, go ahead and get me the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and 17. Yeah.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
He said, think not that I am come to destroy the law. To all you Christians, the law is not done away with. The laws is not done. The laws are not nailed to the cross. The laws are still something that we have to follow to this day. The dietary laws, every law that's in this Bible, not just the Big Ten. There's over 600 laws in this Bible that we have to follow. Think not that I have come to destroy the law. He didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets or these freaking prophets in the I.S.U.P.K under commanding your Honor. He didn't come to destroy these prophets. He did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. What does fulfill mean? A lot of people get a misconstrued. The word misconstrued. Fulfill just means to uphold these laws every single day. When you go to work, you fulfill your job your duties every single day. When you're at Amazon, you're doing that fulfillment center job. You're fulfilling them packages and those orders every single day. So that's what you have to do with this law. You have to uphold and fulfill these laws every single day to the T. You have to strive to be perfect with these laws. You could go the next verse, 18.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass.
Heaven and earth pass. Read on.
One jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
The dotting of the I and the crossing of the T. There shall be nothing shall pass from the law. Nothing shall pass from the law. So that means you would have to fulfill these laws until the earth is passed, until the earth is gone. You have to fulfill these laws, commandments until everything is gone. Fulfilled. It's an execution. You have to fulfill these things until you have to execute these law sections, commandments until it's all said and done. Read verse 19.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Whosoever shall break one of the least of the commandments, the least of these commandments. Some people may think that you can eat pork and just pray over it, but you're breaking one of the least of the commandments, right? Read on.
And shall teach men so.
Your pastor tells you to eat that pork after the service, to go back and pray over it. He tells you, oh brother, it's fine to eat that. You pray. Read on.
And shall teach men so. He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. That your pastor is going to be picking up our trash in the kingdom of heaven. Your pastor is not going to be on the thrones over authority when we're in the kingdom of heaven. He's not going to be reported out 144,000. He's not. He's going to be picking up doo-doo. It's the same. Read on.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them.
Whosoever shall do and teach them. Who's teaching our nation today? The brothers in the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding jury are teaching our brothers today. And read on.
The same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
We shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. We be over these lands and teaching our people what we're supposed to be doing, what we're supposed to be fulfilling, what we're supposed to be upholding, how we're supposed to be upholding the law sections of commandments. That's what our duties are as priests and prophets of the Lord, to uphold and to show each individual how to uphold these laws, these dietary laws, and actually celebrate the law, celebrate these traditions of the Most High. If you could, brother, give me 1 John 2 and 3.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. It's the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments.
If we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, we know God. Your pastor does not know God if he doesn't keep these law, statutes, and commandments. He isn't in Atlanta celebrating the Lord's annual Passover. He's not celebrating these holy days. He's out celebrating Christmas. He's out celebrating 4th of July, celebrating Easter. He doesn't know God. The Lord's people are in the I.S.U.P.K celebrating these high holy days. We know the Lord. We know the commandment. Verse 4. Remember.
Verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments.
He that say he knows the Lord. He that say, oh, look, the Lord knows my heart, right? And doesn't keep none of the commandments, right? He is just a wicked. He is just not. He's celebrating his birthday. He got the countdown on his Instagram. He's celebrating Christmas, Valentine's Day, and yada yada yada. He's doing all of that. Read on.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar.
He is a what?
Is a liar.
He a what?
Is a liar.
He is a liar. He does not know God. Read on.
And the truth is not in him.
The truth is not in him. The truth is not in your Christian pastor. The truth is not in Big Mom. The truth is in the I.S.U.P.K under the commanding during your honor, being taught by these priests and prophets, the Lord. Read on.
Verse 5. Whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him.
But whoso keepeth his word, the person, the man and the woman, that the black man and the black woman that's keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, and upholding these laws, know God. They know to celebrate the high holy days. They know to attend Passover. They know to attend all these high holy days on Hanukkah, and to be at these festivals, high holy days. They know God. Your Christian pastor doesn't know God. No, the Muslim monk does not know God. Right. If you could give me the book of 1 John 3 and 4.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law. Sin is just transgression of the law. So when you eat that pork, you are committing a sin against the law. You're transgressing the law. If you could, man, give me the book of 1 John 5 and 3.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
We do what?
That we keep his commandments.
That we keep some of the commandments.
That we keep his commandments.
We keep just the Big 10.
That we keep his commandments.
And we keep all of his commandments. Right? Read them.
And his commandments are not grievous.
His commandments are not grievous. It's not a street. It's not something that's going to be hard for you to do. It's not hard for you to cut out pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Your dietary law. It's not going to be hard for you to stop celebrating your birthday, to stop celebrating Christmas and these pagan holidays. It's not going to be hard for you to do these things. It's not a grievous thing for you to do. It's going to kill you if you keep. It's going to unalive you if you keep doing these things. You're going to be in New York during the. Like you're gonna be in New York during the ball drop, and there's gonna be a bomb that go off, and you're gonna be there in attendance. Just all because you want to see a ball drop. Like, doing these things is a grievous thing. You want to put up a Christmas tree in your house, knowing that is a fire risk. That tree can light up in 3 seconds and burn your whole house down. Doing these things it's not a grievous thing. It's going to save your life if you do this. It's going to save your life if you put down the law, put down what America has for you. You could go back to go back to Romans 6:1 for me.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin?
Shall we continue in sin? Shall we continue doing these things like celebrating our birthday and celebrating these American religions? In doing so, you will be put with America when the Most High comes back. Read on.
Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Do you think that you have grace forever? Grace is a time period for you to get yourself together, for you to correct yourself, for you to get into this truth. But God is giving you a grace period to get into these classes, to change your life. He's giving you a grace period to stop celebrating all of these things, to change, to get out of that Christian church, to get out of that Muslim mosque, to get into these classes and under commanding during your time. Right. Go to Romans 6:15. Yeah.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 15. For sin, what then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid.
What then? Shall we sin? Shall you continue doing the things of the world that you're doing? Shall you continue selling them drugs? Shall you continue going up and down that strip pole? Shall you continue in sin? Just because you're not under the law, but under grace? God, no, hell no. Just because you're not under the law of the old law, of the Levitical law, you should, under the Levitical law, you should be unalive for celebrating Christmas. The old me should be unalive for selling drugs, for scamming, for stealing. But because I had that grace period and got into classes, shit. And with that, I'm passing back to the officer 50 garage unlock.
Let's give that brother a hand. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, brothers. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, citizens. I'm Preaching Officer 50 Garage Shema. We are the I.S.U.P.K, Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, taught out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the leadership and the guidance of Commanding General Yohanan. Right. And our duty is to teach the Blacks, the Hispanics, and the so-called Native Indians who they are according to the Bible. Right. What is the truth of the Bible? That the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, they are the true Jews of the Bible. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group, and this is the home of the truth. And today what we're going to be talking about is who are the Israelites? Now I know some people, this might be not new to some people, but to some people it is still new. Some people are walking around today still not knowing who they are according to this Bible. Some people are still in 2025 lost and not know who they are according to the Bible. Now, as I stated, this might be old for some, but this may be also new for some people who have never heard the truth. So today what we're going to be talking about is who are the Israelites? And also, what is their role? What is their responsibility? It's one thing to know that you're an Israelite, but then there's the other part that comes with it. Like, what is your role? What is your responsibility? How do we identify them? So that's the second part. We are in 2025. We have all the social media, every avenue of finding out your culture, your history. There's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's Twitter. What are some other social media outlets that they ain't have nowadays that I mentioned? OnlyFans. But there's history books, there's videos, there's the actual Bible that has your history in it. And whatever your method of learning is to find out what your actual culture is. Now the choice is do you want to figure out what your culture is? Do you even care about what your culture is? Or do you want to just take on someone else's culture or identity other than your own? So that's what we're going to learn about today. So after this class, you're going to learn that what your identity is if you don't know. And it's a choice to make now that once you learn this information, if you're going to accept the fact that you are an Israelite, what your role is, or to deny who you are and your actual culture. So today, let me go ahead and get the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, if you can. And with that being said, we're going to also learn about who the audience is about. Because the thing about the Bible is when people read the Bible, they tend to read the Bible without understanding who the audience is. Knowing the audience is very important to understand who is being talked about and spoken to, right? So that's another thing that we're going to tackle today. Who are the Israelites? What's their role? What's their responsibility? Read that from your brother when you got it.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. Thou art a holy people to the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right. So it says, for thou art a holy people. So the thou. You got to understand who this thou is talking about. The thou is talking about the blacks, the Hispanics, and the so-called Native Indians. How do you know it's the thou? Well, you got to also go back into the book of Genesis, and you can read about the different tribes that were in the Bible. When you understand those tribes, they later, of course, came to be. That's another class. So the thou is talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And art, a holy people. So when it says it's a holy people, it's referring to a separate people. These people that's being specified in this verse is holy. They are separate unto the Most High God. They are a specific group of people that is separate from everyone else. Unto the Lord thy God. Now you are separate unto the Lord. Read the next part.
Verse 7.
No, verse 6, verse 6. The Lord thy God.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right. So it says the Lord thy God, meaning the Most High God. Thy God. It's showing that these people have a specific God. These people have an actual God. That's showing possession right there. And this God, the Most High God, Yahweh, chosen, meaning that he has picked this group of people to be special unto himself. You are special to the Most High God. Now you have to understand what the term special means. If you can give me the definition of special, the Google definition of special, so we can look at what that term actually means. What does it mean to be special? The Google definition of special.
This is Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Special, distinguished by some unusual quality, especially being in some way superior.
Right. In some way superior, right? What did it say about the usual part? Read that part again.
Distinguished by some unusual quality, especially being in some way superior.
So you're distinguished by some unusual quality. That means that you are separate from everyone else, right? So we already know that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, what makes them kind of stand out from the rest of the other nations? Let's just think about it. Everybody's seen our pop culture, our hip hop culture. Do we dance like any of the other nations? What about our hair texture? Is our hair texture the same as everybody else? We style our hair different, but you know, there's something that's special about our texture of hair. It's different, right? How about our skin color? You know, our skin texture is a little different. So what does it mean to be special? We're just a greater people according to the Most High God. We are special to him.
So like, I was talking to a brother of mine. We just talking about how special like we are, and the question was asked. Like, we was getting to talk about why is it that they always show Black, Hispanic, Native Indians on television when we talk about crime, right? And I just thought about it. Even at our worst, the other nations want to see us, we're so peculiar, you understand?
Right.
Even the other nations want to see what we're doing, how we're doing it, when we're doing it. They are extremely curious about what we do, but y'all. I mean, even in crime. Yeah, the whole show called First 48. About who? The investigation of some of the worst neighborhoods in America. Who are the characters? Us.
Right.
You know, the oppression got shows like Naked and Afraid. Ain't nobody really, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to us, it's like the movies were always depicted as the villain and how we think because we are so peculiar. The problem is, in this empire, Esau always showed us on the wrong side. You get what I'm saying? But show our peculiarness on the right side. And we'll be drawn to that. Right now, we serve up on an evil bastard called Esau, his nation of people. So we're drawn to the side he wants to depict us as. You understand? But even in that, we're still considered to be something to be marveled at. Right. It's the reason why you watch Raising Cain. It's the reason why you watch Snow on the Bluff. Right. It's the reason why you watch Boys in the Hood. We were drawn to that, like that thing that we're familiar with. That's how special we are. That's how the Lord made us. Right. But He also made us to be that have that same, you know, that masculinity or that femininity in serving Him, not the oppressor. We get that part right. We gonna be exactly what the Lord said we are. We are that peculiar creature. You understand? Right. Like other nations are slick tongues. You see how the Lord described them? Shall not the children of the Lord give bread to the dogs? Huh? You see how the Lord give them descriptive names as in low creatures? Like things that are undesirable? Like the character traits that He gave Esau? What did He say? You should be the lowest. Go crawling on the ground, ain't what He said? He give them the lowest, but us, we be a lot of the Lord describes us. He only describes us in our lowest when we're disobedient to Him. Right. Both sides right.
Right. So it says, "For thou art a holy people." So you are a separate people to the Lord. The Lord name is Yahweh. You'll learn the name of the Most High God when you come into the I.S.U.P.K. And thy God, meaning thy power. He is your power. And this power has chosen you to be a special people unto Himself. Now, we just talked about being special. There's some other ways that our people are special, right? You have your own culture. I'm not sure if any of us have actually noticed certain things, but have you noticed that you being special, you can't do the things that the other nations do? You can't do some of the things as far as like their culture, some of their ways go. You know, what did the Most High God saying about, you know, shaving the side of your face, the corners of thy beard? What happens when you do that? Yeah, right. Some things can happen to your skin. Some people had to learn the hard way. You know, there's other things that, you know, such as like maybe there's certain types of lotions that the other nations can use, but you try to use them, then what happens? These chemicals that some of our people like to put in their hair, especially the women, and on their skin, what happens to that when we start putting all these unnatural chemicals and stuff on our skin or dealing with these, right? You face the consequence of it because we're special. We're not supposed to deal with some of those things, right? We have our own culture and our own way. So you're special to the Most High God. Now it says above, right? Now did it say that we were below or equal?
Above all people, for ye were above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right. So what's that? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So this is talking about all the different nations of people that are on the earth, right? So this special people that the Most High God is talking about, you got to understand there's different nations of people. He picked one group of people and made them above all other people. And they're special unto Him. Now, with that being said, this people there are special to him until upon all the face of the earth. Let me get the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1. And while he's getting that, Officer Bunker, I have sent something over to the email, I.S.U.P.K. 910. Let's start with the agriculture image and see if we can show that. And then there's a video which I want to, kind of talk about afterwards. Yeah, we showed that just to kind of show some of the things that are part of our culture, the Black, Hispanic, Native American culture. Just hold that for me. It's the one it says I.S.U.P.K. now send it to their issue. Our culture in the link. And why he's getting that, just understand that this picture that I'm about to show, this is just showing that, every other nation, they have their own culture, right? The Chinese man has his culture. What do they wear? It was Oriental wear that they have, and there's the Arabs, they have their type of clothing. But what type of clothing or what type of culture do the actual Israelites have? Have we been shown that? Of course, in I.S.U.P.K, we know our culture. What about those who don't know? What were some of the things that our people were wearing when we did know our identity and our culture? Well, Officer Fayetteville has it on the screen. This is a picture of a Native American Indian, right? And if you can see it, he has fringes on. This was part of our culture at one point, and we lost our identity. But when you see some of the brothers in the U.P.K. walking around with some of these gear on, it's foreign to you, but it's not foreign to us. We just understand our culture, where we come from. So this right here is showing you that this is what the Israelites were wearing back in the day. This is how they dressed back then. This is just the Native Americans. Now, we all got different styles on how we wear the fringes and the border blue, but this just gives you an idea that when they talk about the tribes in the Bible, well, we know that the Native Americans was a tribe. So the Native Americans was a tribe, and you can link that to the Bible, meaning that this is one of the tribes of Israel. And as you see, they wore fringes. So this is part of our culture. Now, on the subject of talking about special, think about it. Would America be what America is today without the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? To add on top of being a special people, what have these particular people done for America? Well, we have created certain things. We have invented certain things. Let's talk about a couple of inventions that our people have made over time. If you can just show that video that I sent, Officer Montreal. Now we're just gonna kind of go through some of the inventions. You can start it from the beginning, just to kind of show some of the inventions. I think it's like 10 minutes or something. We're going to just watch just a couple of them, just to kind of point out my point. You can start from the beginning.
The electric bulb by first
AC motor by Nikola Tesla,
and the laws of motion by Isaac Newton. All these inventors are white, but what about the black inventions that have been claimed by white people? We mostly stop at traffic signals.
Right. So this video is just talking about some of the inventions that the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the Israelites have created. Right. The Most High God gives, everyone gives, but as I said before, to be special to the Most High, He gave you certain specific qualities that He didn't give everyone else. And a lot of things that we invent have been credited for. And this is just some of the things that our people have done with our culture and not been credited for. So this is just a couple of things just to show you what we're talking about.
And it is the most crucial invention for the safety of millions of people driving on the road. But do you know who invented this life-saving machine? His name is Garrett Morgan, who is a black person. In the city of Cleveland, Ohio, Garrett Morgan was the first person of African descent to purchase a car. After witnessing a major vehicle accident at a crossroads in the city, he decided to improve the existing traffic signal by adding a yield component, which alerts drivers coming from the opposite direction that they are about to come to a complete stop. Surprised? You must be wondering why such crucial inventions remained hidden from public view. Curious about this apparent dominance by white inventors? Hold tight, because we're about to shed light on the brilliant story of these African American individuals with golden hearts. The compact, or can be said folding beds that we're using in our small houses are also invented by a black person. Folding cabinet beds were invented in 1884 by Chicago Furniture Company owner Sarah E. Good. Good aspired to create a solution for those with little space who needed to furnish their homes. Cabinet beds can be folded up to seem like desks when not in use. On July the 14th of 1885, Good became the first African American woman to be awarded a patent. Sarah E. Good High School for Science, Technology and Engineering and Math Education may be found in Chicago right now. Nowadays, in the cases of fire or gas leakage, what helps us the most? Your answer will be obviously the gas mask. And would you be glad to know that this amazing thing is also invented by the same person who invented traffic signals? His name was Garrett Morgan. The concept of a blood bank has also been developed by a black person. While attending Columbia, Charles Richard Drew developed an interest in examining methods for prolonging blood shelf life. Drew found a way to separate red blood cells from plasma, allowing for more convenient storage of each component. With this method, blood might be preserved for longer than the previous 7-day limit. As a result of Drew's research, the first blood bank was established. You all have eaten potato chips, and did you know where this concept came from? At the time, George Crumb held a position as a chef at a hotel in New York. A patron complained that the French fries in his order were subpar, and the restaurant was forced to send them back to the kitchen. In a fit of pique, Crumb sliced the potatoes as paper thin as he could, fried them until they were crisp as possible, and then liberally sprinkled a considerable amount of salt on top of them. This led to the development of the potato chip. Are you a fitness freak? Well, then you're definitely using peanut butter. George Washington Carver was the creator of peanut butter and hundreds of other goods made from peanuts, sweet potatoes, and soybeans. Carver, who was born into slavery before it was abolished, ran away from home at an early age to further his education. He attended Iowa State University.
We can pause for just a moment. Now, the reason I show this video is because it's important to show you some of the things that blacks have invented. Why? Because what are we told in this society? You're nothing. You're nobody. You're just can we say the N word? Can we say nigga? Sloppy. Anyway. Okay. So that's what they're called. They call you the N word. Right. Negro. Raw. Right. But what did the Most High God say? The Most High God said you are a special people. So he told you were special. So you have to be able, something has to be good about you for you to be able to do these inventions. But what happened? Someone took the credit for what these so-called special people were inventing. That's why I showed you this video, to show you some of the things that these so-called special people were creating and doing. The gifts that the Most High God had gave them. You are special, regardless of what the world tells you. Let's read on. You continue the video.
Where he earned a master's degree in agricultural science. After decades of teaching and research at the Tuskegee University, he passed away, and his childhood house became the first national monument dedicated to an African American. The next one is dryer, as in the first clothes dryer was patented in 1892 by American inventor George Sampson. It took the premise of Poquin's initial design, a metal drum with a rack that dried clothing away from the main source of heat, and vastly improved upon it. Stoves were used instead of open fires, making the dryer not only more effective, but also safer. Another African American by the name of Andrew Jackson Beard made significantly fewer railroad workers killed or injured as a result of his invention of the first mechanical railroad car coupler. Beard's creation was an early version of modern automatic couplers. Jefferson County, Alabama is where Beard's life as a slave began. After gaining his freedom at the age of 15, he settled down on a farm and eventually owned a flour mill. Beard, who had no formal education, created 3 new types of plows, patented 2 of them, and used the money he made to make wise real estate investments. After patenting the automatic railroad car coupler in 1897, he went on to design a steam-powered rotary engine. Workers had to brace themselves between train cars to manually couple them before Beard's invention. Most people who manually...
All right, so those are just some of the inventions that our people have created. And as you see, these inventions are the ones that help run society today, right? Now, moving on, let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
Right, so now we're talking about one of the leaders of Israel, right? One of the many leaders of Israel. And he is with who?
And Moses with the elders of Israel.
Right, so he's with the elders of Israel. These are some of the wise men that were back then, right? And Moses and these elders of Israel, he gave these people a commandment. And when you command something, what are you commanding? What are you doing? You're actually giving an order. You're giving an order to these people, and you're telling them to do something specific. And what was that order that was given? That order that was given was that these people need to keep all the commandments, which the Lord commanded this day. So Moses, being the leader at that time with these wise men, he's telling the elders of Israel, and if they're the elders of Israel, then they have to be over another nation, right? Because they're the elders. That's their audience. So he's commanding these people that they need to follow the Lord's statutes and commandments. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently to the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right. So this is Most High God giving you clear instruction, right? And it shall come to pass, meaning that it's a prophecy. It's going to come to pass, whether we want it to or not. And if thou shalt hearken, so it means to listen. If anyone says you need to hearken, or you shall hearken, it means that you need to listen and diligently, meaning that you need to put in some effort into that voice of the Lord thy God. You need to make sure that you are listening to that voice. We all know that voice, that thing that tells you not to do something. You know it's wrong to do, but you try to fight against that. Well, that's that essence of you not listening to the Lord thy God. And you need to observe, and you need to do all his commandments, which he commands you this day. So it's being reinstated from what Moses had told, and also the Most High God, what he'll do if you decide to listen to him. But what's going to happen if we decide to listen to the Most High God, to observe, meaning to observe and watch and put into play and to do? We all know what to do means you're going to actually do them, right? And what are some of the commandments that we might know about? Well, let's just start with some of the basic ones. Stop celebrating your birthday. Stop celebrating Christmas. Stop celebrating Thanksgiving. Stop eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. Right? I know you think it's good. It may be good until the doctor tell you that you got to get your foot cut off. Until you find out that you got tapeworms or you got
parasites in your guts and they got to cut it open and you got to miss some organs or something. Everything's always good until you find out what the result is if you're not trying to listen to the Most High. So to observe and to do all those commandments, what did it say that the Lord will do for you?
Put ye on that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right. So the Lord thy God, he's going to set you high above all nations of the earth. Right. We read in Deuteronomy 7 and 6 that he has a special people, right? That are above all people of the earth. Right. So if you decide these same people, if the Most High God is saying that he's going to bless those people and set them high above all the nations of the earth, these are the blessings for you just listening and hearkening to the Most High God. These are just some of the things that the Most High God done for us, or will do for you, just by listening. And to be able to be high above all nations of the earth, well, to run the earth, that's got to be one of the best gifts ever, right? To be able to run the earth. But who's running the earth now? Make you think, right? Who's running the earth now? Is it the Israelites that we're talking about? No, it's not. Let's figure out why. Drop on down to verse 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
There it goes again. But it shall come to pass. Meaning there's a prophecy. It will, it has come to pass. Read.
If thou wilt not hearken diligently, hearken unto the Lord, unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right. So this is saying that if thou will not hearken, meaning that you're not going to listen, you're not even going to try to listen to anything the Most High God or his prophets are trying to tell you. You're not even wanting to hear anything that's going to help save your life. You're not wanting to hear anything that's going to help our people or as a nation, right? You're not even listening. So when it says not to hearken, it means not to listen. So if thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, read on. To observe.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Right. So you're not trying to put it in play. You're not trying to do any of the commandments and the statutes, how you should conduct yourself, how you should be acting, following these laws. What's going to happen?
So like when you said observe to do, it's almost like a good tool to put in your bag would be like something like we're in observance of Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And you're setting aside a special time for the Lord said you got to observe his law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Like, I mean, you're gonna put aside whatever you got going on to do this particular thing. You understand? Right. So we talk about you observe something. Because a lot of when we said the Christianity would never break this thing down the way you break it down. You know what I'm saying? Get a Lord for that, get a Lord hand for that. You make it all the way through, you know what I'm saying? So the Christians, they like to lay in that gray area. Well, the truth, there is no gray area. Either you're hot or you're cold. You understand? So you observe something. You set aside all the other things that you deem important and do what thus says the Lord. You understand? You observe it. You understand? Right. It's like
So what's going to happen if you don't even want to listen to the Most High God? Read that last sentence. All these
curses shall come upon thee this day.
Right. So that all these curses shall come upon thee. Right. Now I know some people don't understand what the word curse means. So let me get the definition of curse, the Google definition of curse. And going with this verse and going forward, we're gonna identify. If you don't understand who the Israelites are now, well, we're gonna still get it to make it a little bit more clear in just a moment. If it doesn't ring a bell, the Google definition. I want the Google definition of curse.
This is a Merriam-Webster dictionary. A prayer for motion for harm or injury to come upon one.
Okay, That's give me the Google definition. Merriam-Webster is a good one, but I like the Google definition better.
A coarse or blasphemy word or phrase used to express anger or other strong emotions.
Okay, is there another one there? That's fine. I got it for time's sake. So this is the Google definition of curse. It's the solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. And we got to understand that that supernatural power is the Most High God. He has the power or the supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. So that's why I like that particular definition. This is what's being said here in this verse. So that all these curses are going to come upon thee. So when you start seeing punishment and you start seeing people, a certain group of people go through these things, well, number one, that's going to help you identify who they are according to the Bible, who the Israelites are. Number one. Number two, you'll actually be able to see that the Most High God is going to do what he says he's going to do. That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Read on, verse 16.
Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Right. So cursed shalt thou be in the city. Now let's ask ourselves a question. How were we then cursed in the city? And then how are we cursed in the city now? Because I know some people will say, well, that was back then. That doesn't apply to today. But we'll see. Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Well, let's think about back in the day, right? How were the so-called blacks cursed in the city back then? Well, we know that our people used to work in the fields, right? We used to work in the cotton fields, the sugarcane fields, working in the hot sun. And were we paid for some of our labor? And even if we were paid little to no money. That to me doesn't sound like freedom to me. That sounds like a curse, don't you think? Those people that were cursed in the city or the field were those people that were working, making it hard to survive. Those people who went through slavery back then, which was our people, right? Now, how about today? Officer I.S.U.P.K, if you can take a look at the email I sent you. Sometimes I like to show videos because videos, you can read it out of the scriptures, and the scriptures are very, very descriptive. But sometimes people need to see so they can get it. They can understand what it means when the Lord is talking. Because maybe you're not understanding what he's saying when he says, cursed shall I be in the city. Maybe you need to understand it from what today was happening. So let's take a look at one of the videos that I sent. It's a video that shows, and I want to show this, but it needs to be understood that this happens in today's time. This is reality that we live in. This will show you that the Israelites, who the Israelites are, the turmoil, the trouble that we go through each day, being a Black, Hispanic, Native American, the oppression, how we're treated as a people. And this goes along with the verse I'm talking about. So if you can play, it's like, give me just one more. It's the one with the white suit. There you go. Wow.
Disturbing cell phone video taken at the University of Kentucky shows a white student attacking and harassing a black student and yelling racist remarks. Authorities arresting 22-year-old Sophia Rosing for attacking freshman Kyla Spring, who was working an overnight shift over the weekend at the front desk of a residence hall. Rosing charged with 2 counts of assault, one for Spring and the other.
Right. So I want you to just see how she is treating. Now these are the other nations of people, right? Watch how they treat this black girl.
Other involving a police officer.
Watch
She's also been charged.
Watch how she's being treated, and the audacity that she feels that she has the right and can do that. And then I want you to listen to what they say towards the end.
With disorderly conduct and public intoxication, pleading not guilty in court. Meanwhile, the community rallying around Spring.
I was physically, verbally, and racially assaulted by Jane Doe, aka Sophia Rosing.
Hundreds standing beside her in Lexington and standing up against racism and discrimination.
And to Miss Rosing, you will not break my spirit. As Michelle Obama once said, when they go low.
Yeah, I'm after looking at the video, it's something that happened in the video that I see that I think that we struggle with as a nation of people. That thing that I struggle with during this attack, during this abuse, this onslaught, you understand? This on this sister, she smiled a little bit, bro, you know? That's a look on her face. It's almost as seemed as she smiled. And no, I'm talking about this sister. During the attack, she smiled. That's what we're asked to do every single day in this environment. Right. We're under attack. And we realize that the person that's attacking us is trying to cause physical harm. But in our psyche, we're saying, no, just stop acting crazy. Just calm down. But not realizing like the people who are coming with these attacks, they come to bring harm. Right. There is no you see that all the time, Karen get out of pocket, and we like, Karen, there you go again. Not realizing that when Karen tears begin to fall out of her face, and she called the cops, you're in danger. You get what I'm saying? Like, if that whole person would have had a weapon to, like, outside her fist, that's what she was using, right? That's assault, right? But she would have had some type of weapon to hit this sister with, while this sister was literally just kind of fingering her off and smiling at the same time. Man, go back. Just a little bit of the video. See, look at her face here. Go ahead. Yeah. You see her face? Look at that. That's a smile. Look, she's in danger, huh? She's in danger. You hear what I'm saying? This devil, she would have had a weapon in her hand. She was gonna try to hit her. She would have tried to hit this sister with that weapon. Cole, you see that right there? She's smiling. The sister is smiling. She's on a full-blown attack. Yet she's still smiling. Go ahead, play it.
Kentucky shows a white student attacking and harassing.
Look. She's had to watch. Look.
Authorities arresting 22-year-old Sophia Rosing.
That's the problem with us. That's the problem with Black Hispanic. We want to be a part of the go along, get along gang so bad that we're willing to accept abuse with a smile on our face, only to realize in later days, y'all, wait a minute. Damn, she could have really hurt me. That's when you get upset. That's when reality hit. When you go in there for that slave and you feel like, well, they ask you, what is your name, Diamante? My name is Dion. And you don't realize it's an insult until 2 or 3 days later. That's when the tears begin to fall. That's when you have your nigga wake up on. That's what it is in this empire for us. It's hard for us to see it in the initiation or the initial attack because of Martin Luther King, because of Christianity, because of religion, because of not having an identity, being lost in this place. You understand? Being stripped of everything. And then when you feel that real attack on you, then it hits you like, wait a minute, you just call me boy? You understand what I'm saying? Did you just try to hit me? Did you just snap your fingers at my kid? That's what it is. And we only realize that when we begin to wake up like, wait a minute, your oppressors on some other crap. It's not fun and games when you slow down long enough and realize that there's a thing called racism and it's real. There's a thing that's called hate from the other nations and it's real. And it's scary to realize that you look at the devil in the face and call him a devil if you don't have the strength that you only gain in I.S.U.P.K. You don't want to see the devil like that without knowing the truth. That's why she was smiling, but in the interview book, y'all, she was in tears.
And before we finish playing, understand what we're talking about today. So we talk about disobedience to the Most High. And the Most High God put a curse on. You have to understand the Most High God, He'll always give you a choice. Either you listen to Him, or we'll give you over to the other nations. So since we of course, when you go and you can read, when you get your own time to figure out, specifically all of our people were doing in the Bible, we weren't listening to the Most High God's command. So since we were doing what we want to do as another people, following the other nations, the Most High God handed you over to them. So this is what happens when you're cursed in the city. The Most High God allowed this to happen, and you see how our people are treated. So until we get to the point where we're tired of being treated this way, we need to come back to the Most High God. So we can get up out this mess. We can stop being treated like this. Now, this doesn't identify who you are in the Bible. You don't understand yet who you are according to the Bible. You're not trying to see it. You should want to understand this. I think there's like a few more minutes on it.
Standing beside her in Lexington and standing up against racism and discrimination.
And to Miss Rosing, you will not break my spirit. As Michelle Obama once said, when they go low, when they go low,
The University of Kentucky saying in a statement, "We condemn this behavior and will not tolerate it under any circumstance."
Rosing's attorney tells ABC News she regrets everything and is humiliated and embarrassed. She plans to voluntarily withdraw from the university. She'll be back in court next week. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
If you release 5 singles and 3 albums,
Salakia. Okay. Right. I was waiting for the other part of the video. I'm not sure if it happened, but they was saying that the enemy or the oppressor, that she was sorry for what she had done. I don't really believe that she said she was sorry for what she done or embarrassed about it. I think she's just embarrassed about it because she was caught. So that was the part I was trying to get there and show, because it talked about that toward the end of the video. She's embarrassed, but I'm sure you are. But moving on, there's one more video. How are you cursed in the city? I think I've shown this video before, but this hits the point on what we're talking about. It's another video showing you how you can be cursed in the city. No. That was part of the same video we was watching. They said it towards the end, but I think it went mute. But it's Tawal. We good. There's another video. It's right up under the curse in the city.
What's the issue?
What's up?
Why are you coming over here?
I just want to see what you guys are taking pictures of.
Why is it your business?
Oh, you know what? This is my home.
Okay, mine too. Why are you taking pictures
Where
of
do
me?
you live?
I live in Scottsdale. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Michigan plates?
Yeah. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Well, you know what?
Right. So this particular video right here, you're going to see exactly what we're talking about. So this brother is minding his own business. Even when we're even trying to mind our own business, as a people, we still have to worry about the other nations treating us a certain way. And you're going to see what he actually does to this brother when he's just minding his own business. If this doesn't fit the people of the Bible and the curses that it's talking about, you just don't want to see it. But let's let the video speak for it.
We've had problems here.
I don't care. You don't know me. Why are you taking pictures of me? And I don't know you. Do you know a lot of white men are doing racist things in this world, sir?
No.
You don't know that? You're not aware of that?
I'm a racist.
You are a racist.
I'm a racist.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So
what's
the
your
issue?
point? Why are you here?
Because this is a no zone.
Not really.
Oh, is it?
Not really, sir.
Tell me.
There's not.
Thwada. He said this is a no N-word zone, right? Now, what does that mean in our language? You fighting words, right? You ain't supposed to be around here. So even in the city where he's minding his own business, he still has to deal with being called the N-word. He can't go where he wants to go. So when it says that you're going to be cursed in the city, well, there you go. You can't even, Salakia, officer.
Yeah, so that's heavy too, because I remember this video. His face just Mr. Miyagi. I slapped the, you know what I mean, whatever hair he got left on his head off. But cats like this is the Christian churches are blamed for this, man. All that turn to your neighbor. We all bleed red. This is your brother.
Right.
You got a filthy Moabite.
Right.
A filthy Moabite talking to a prince like that.
Right.
The nerve. Where did they get that nerve from? The pastors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All that take the high road nonsense. He would never. He got to be strapped. He got to have a hammer on him talking like that.
Right.
Like he just, he's so casual and looking around.
Walked out there confident, right?
The nerve of this cat, man.
Right.
I'm interested to see who the guy recording, who the brother is, because this couldn't happen in this city. I mean, he would have been. I didn't want to go into that.
Right.
But there's no way you let a Moabite walk up to you casually and talk to you that way.
Right.
Without telling him where to go, how to get there, and disrespecting his whole mean dynasty.
Right.
You understand? This is ridiculous. Christian church, the pastors are to blame for why these bastards have such cocky energy and attitudes, and they're not afraid to walk up on a Negro and talk like that. Go ahead. Good video, man.
Officer Zion, did you? Okay, come. Ready for you, sir.
Also, I'm not. So I'm here. And what I'm about to do, I do. I stay here. What I'm about to do, me and my friend, we about to record our videos.
Okay.
And you not gonna do a motherfucking thing about it. Y'all hear me?
That's fine.
What do you thing? I don't want to hear you say nothing.
Oh, I'll tell you what though.
You just not gonna do another thing. So
what?
As y'all see, can't keep the camera.
Stop me from doing things.
It doesn't mean I'm about to record my video.
Okay.
And you're not gonna do anything.
Okay.
And let you try to touch me. Let you try to touch him.
Oh, I wouldn't touch
you. You already disrespecting me. Can you step back a little bit? I feel like you harming.
We are 6 feet.
Yeah, no. I need you to step back. So, don't listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm gonna lay your down.
That's okay.
It's okay. I'm gonna lay you down. I'm gonna lay you down.
You are?
Yeah. So
You ain't.
Just stay where you at.
You ain't man enough.
It's okay. You don't gotta think I'm man enough, my baby. Yeah, just keep it walking. And it's gonna be like that today, y'all. I hope y'all seen all of that. I am a famous YouTuber. This is actually his establishment. So anybody, y'all all know I just moved to Arizona, and this is his friend as well. So anybody that come to this establishment, y'all know what it is. Y'all know exactly what his establishment is, and y'all know where he works. And it's okay. Hey, we got money and we doing well. He mad. So we're gonna handle it like that. You saw he walked away because I got something for him and this man. But Kane, pick up your camera. We about to get this in.
Now, shouts out to this brother for how he handled it, and he stood his ground. But the average brother is not gonna handle it that way. Most of the time, he would have probably got knocked in his grill for doing something like that. But he knows what society he's in, so he knows he has to watch how he moves. But to show you, this just goes to show you that being cursed in the city, as the Most High God was talking about, our people are going to have to keep going through these things, these turmoils, these catastrophes, how we're treated because of our disobedience. We chose not to listen to the Most High God. We decided to do what we wanted to do, so he let the other nations have us. So how they treat you is up to you. So the only way we're going to get back, as we were reading before in the other verses, is to start keeping the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments. We got to come back to the Most High God. We got to do what he says. These curses should identify who the Israelites are, according to the Bible. Now, let's drop on down to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 36. Deuteronomy 28 and 36.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which.
Deuteronomy 28 and 36.
The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
Salakia, brother. 32. 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fall with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
Right. So our sons and our daughters are going to be given unto another people. Now, who are these other people or another people? These are the other nations of people. So our sons and our daughters, they're going to be given. And we know that back then in slavery, what happened to the children? What happened to those babies when they were born? They were sold, right? They were sold right out of the womb to divide the families, right? And let's think about today. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
No, Salakia, that's a heavy point that you made. This breakdown is so important and vital to us gathering ourselves together as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, because these curses are specific and they affect us all as a nation,
right?
As one family. You can look at our children being taken. You just mentioned the so-called African Americans experience with their children being bought and sold up the river, up and down the Cape River, up and down the Moose River, up and down the Yadkin River, any river in the South where so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians existed. Our children were bought and sold and traded, like on the open market, like commodities, like flour, sugar. The same way you get Amazon packages, that's how they would deliver our children in contemporary times. Look at the Native Indians. Their children were taken from them and forced to be educated in what they call normal schools, where they save the man and they kill the Indian, essentially. You can look at the Hispanics today and how There's still undocumented children that were put in internment camps that never got rejoined to their families,
Right.
Never got rejoined to their mothers and fathers. So this is a heavy class. This Tawab break that, brother.
Tawab. Nah, you Tawab. So thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. And it says, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. So we talked about the past, but what about now? So how are our sons and daughters given unto another people? Well, let's think about these other religions. Christianity, Islam, all these different religions or societies outside of our own culture, which we should be following and doing, right? They have the people's sons and daughters, their families. Some of them go into the LGBTQ community, right? That's a whole community in itself. Being given into interracial marriage. That's something that's been promoted throughout society as it's okay. But according to the Bible and according to the Most High God, you're supposed to pick within your nation of people, within the 12 tribes of Israel. He said, mixing with the other nations of people is not right. So when you give your sons and daughters over to these other nations of people, then not only are you disobeying the Most High God, this is what's being said in this particular verse. You're giving your sons and thy daughters over unto another people. Right. And there shall be no might in thine hand. Meaning there's no might in thine hand. There's not going to be anybody who's going to be able to do anything for you to get you out. How many times have we seen Black Lives Matter movements, rallies, our people marching up and down the streets demanding justice? Has it done anything? Has it fixed the issue? Has it resolved the issue? That's a question. It says, and there shall be no might in thine hand. There's nothing you can do. You know why it's nothing you can do? Because the Most High God is allowing it until he releases that thing that's causing us to stay in this condition, then it's going to continue to be that way. But you, Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, your responsibility is to do what Most High God say. Come back to his law, statutes, and commandments. That way you can convince him to get you out of the situation. But until then, it's going to keep continuing to happen. You can have all the councils you want. You can have all the rallies that you want. We were doing that since Martin Luther King's time, right? Probably before that. Has it changed anything? We just saw the videos. Salakia, Officer Zion. Okay, Salakia, I thought you had your hand up, sir. Right. So with that being said, this is what we're living in. This is the time that we're living in. Drop on down to Deuteronomy 28 and 48.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Therefore, you're going to serve your what?
Thine enemies.
So you're trying to tell me that the Most High God made everybody the same, everybody's equal? That's what the Christian church teaches. But this particular verse said you're going to serve your enemies. So that means that the children of Israel, the Israelites, they have enemies. People who do not like you. And who's going to actually send these enemies? The Lord shall send against thee. So the Most High God, he is going to send these enemies against you. And in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness. Now, what does it mean by in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness? Well, we have to go to our oppressor for everything. We need our food. We need our drink, our water, our home, our living. Do we own anything in this world? You may think you own something. You might got a car, you might got a home. It's nice to live in, but what happens if you don't pay your taxes each year? What happens? They come seize your assets. That shows you ain't really free. They still own you in some way, shape, or form. Let you think you're free, but you're not free. And you're going to be in want of all things. So everything that you want or you need, you have to go to your oppressor or your enemies for those things. Read on.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Right. So when it says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, we know back then in slavery, there was a particular device that they used to put around our people. And what was that device used for? It was preventing you from running away. Officer Bunker, y'all have a picture of that as well, that yoke of iron image, so people can get an idea of that. So that same yoke of iron that it's talking about here, this is what it was referring to back then. But just like then, it still relates to today. But let's talk about this image first. So this is what used to be on our people's neck. So again, when we want to say who are the Israelites, well, we know this happened to the Israelites, right? They went into slavery. They had these so-called yokes around their neck to prevent them from escaping or trying to get away. And what did it do? It destroyed them mentally and physically as a people. As it says, you're going to keep this yoke of iron upon your neck until you have been destroyed. So it destroyed our people then, and it's destroying our people now. Now, today, we don't walk around with a physical yoke of iron around our neck, do we? But we have a mental or spiritual yoke around our neck, and that's attached to your mind. And who's responsible for keeping that you being destroyed in your mind mentally? It's the Christian church. They're not telling you the truth of who you are. What's going to help you break that slavery chain, that mental block that's in your head for you not understanding who your enemy is, what you should be doing as a Black, Hispanic, and Native American, what your culture is, and what you need to, and what's your responsibility. Read that again from the top, Deuteronomy 28:48.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Right. So until it has destroyed you. Now we're going to read on to verse 49.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
Right. So the Lord is going to bring a nation against thee from far. Now, we talked about Most High God saying that you're going to have enemies. So what nation do we know that he brought against from afar, from the end of the earth to the other? And as swift as the eagle flieth, right? Who do we know has a representation of the eagle? What nation of people has that representation of an eagle? America. The bald eagle, right? And as swift as the eagle. So they came swift as the eagle, but also the representation of the eagle. So this nation, we all know about the Columbus and the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, and those boats that he had. Supposedly he sailed the ocean blue and he found people that were already living there and got credit for it. Right. As we show video, they take credit for everything that we create and then make it their own. How are you going to discover something when people are already there? But at the end of the day, the Lord allowed this nation of people from the end of the earth, which is the representation of America, whose tongue they shall not understand. So we originally had our own culture. We were speaking Hebrew. We know our language, but we lost our language and our culture. We started speaking another tongue, another language of another nation that we did not understand. I think Officer Zion had a class on that last week about the different tongues and the languages and the importance of it. But our people had our own specific language, and we, for some reason, didn't listen to the Most High. So we went under this particular people, learning their language and their customs. The Lord allowed us to be under them and their rule because of our disobedience. Verse 50.
Verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the people, the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young.
Right, so a nation. So this nation has a fierce countenance. Now, what does it mean to have a fierce countenance? What does it mean to have a fierce countenance? Because this nation of people, it's describing this nation of people that it's talking about. So for time's sake, this nation of people is talking about the so-called oppressor, the so-called white man. They have a fierce countenance, meaning they have an angry facial expression. They have a devilish face expression. They do not have any regard for the old or the young. What does it mean by that? Look at today's society. Even back then, look at now. When you get pulled over by the cops, when you get stopped by the cops, do majority of the cops care about if you're old or you're young? They snatch you out your car. I was watching something today where the cop immediately pointed the gun and told him to get on the ground. Old man, about 60-something years old. He had knee problems. He didn't even ask him if he had any knee problems. He just said, get on the ground, gun pointed at him. This nation of peoples always have a fierce anger or a fierce behavior towards you. They don't have any regard for the old, nor do they show favor to the young. They do not care. So when we talk about who are the Israelites, what's their responsibility? We're talking about the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're in 2025. Again, if you don't know that you're an Israelite, hopefully this rings a bell for some to wake them up that they are an Israelite. For those of you who know that you're an Israelite and deny that you're an Israelite, then that's again part of the problem. I think I heard that today where a brother said, I used to be an Israelite. Like, what is, I'm kind of confused what he was meaning by I'm not an Israelite. Well, you are what the Most High God says you are. If you are if your father was a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American, then you, according to the Bible, are an Israelite. Not because the I.S.U.P.K said so, but because the Most High God said so. Because that's what you are according to the Bible. Now, and your responsibility is to come back to your culture, your laws, your statutes, your commandments to the Most High God. We're in the last days where World War III is bound to pop off at any time. Christ can crack the sky at any point. So for you as a Black, Hispanic, and Native American, understand this Bible is talking about you. You are the audience of this Bible. Come back to the Bible before it's too late. And that's my time. I'm Priest and Officer 50 Darash Shamath. I'm going to pass the class over to Officer 50 Awariyala.
We're the I.S.U.P.K starting out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves for the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After a 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 and 10 means tithes in the Hebrew. Ma'ashra, verse 10 of Salakia. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher priest funds. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to upcoming holy convocations. Announce holy convocations. Feast of fruits. Feast of the first fruits starts after the Sabbath.
Where you reading that? Feast of first fruits. It ends on June 8th.
Like if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, and headband. With that,
Amajim.
And in Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim Barak, Yahweh Shemiah Shabbat,
Yahweh Shemiah Shabbat.
Yahweh Natah. Sorry, turn to sisters. Sister Amajim. Men of Israel, Amajim. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim Barak, Yahweh Shemiah Shabbat. Yahweh Natah.